Hi, it's been a minute. You're listening to our oh fuck. Okay, we'll just cut that out. Hi, my name is Jailene Diaz. I am now 23. I've added a new name while you were gone.
A whole new one?
A whole new one. My pronouns are any, still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Sonny Carpenter. My pronouns are still also any.
You're 23, you graduated?
I'm 23, I graduated college. I officially, now when I do my analysis of these books, I have an English degree to back it. So y'all have to listen to me now. I am the only correct person in the shipping wars, I'm just saying.
All of your statements are facts.
All of my statements are facts. Yes.
I got another tattoo. You got a tattoo.
I did get another tattoo. I got a flower, and you got a moomin.
Yeah.
Well, you got 2 tattoos since.
You didn't see my sibling tattoo?
Well, that's a new one.
Oh, that's right. I just added it in the art because I had foresight to be like, yeah, I'll get this within the month that you're gone.
Yep.
So both of my arms are inked.
Nice. Technically both my arms are inked. My left finger and my right bicep.
Very nice. I am going to start violin next month, and I'm a hoop aerialist now.
I am obsessed with the fact they're starting violin, and also just, you've done ballet, you've done hoop aerial.
And I really want to juggle better, because I can juggle a little bit, but apparently, over at Morgan's job, they got this guy who teaches people how to juggle. Could you imagine?
I'm obsessed. I would...
Can't swim for shit, can't ride a bike, won't drive a car, but boy, can this boy juggle.
Yeah! I'm just waiting for the drop. I don't know, do you want to get straight into it?
Yeah, let's go straight into it. I feel like I've put it on enough forward of, like, catching up, you know?
Yeah. Any other big announcements?
I'm still a student. Like, that's it.
I'm graduated. That's all I got.
Alright, what book is this?
This one was called... It was appropriately named The Predator.
Oh wait, I gotta say, this is our darling book club that you're listening to.
It's our darling little book club.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I forgot an adjective. Write me up.
The title.
Write me up.
I'd have to change all the marketing.
Whatever, they don't care.
I know, we only have one copyrighted. So it was appropriately named The Predator because it starts off with Marco turning into a gorilla.
At the 7-Eleven.
At the 7-Eleven. Actually, on the way home from the 7-Eleven.
Alright. Okay. He got his little M&Ms.
They did such good parallels between Marco and Rachel, and I know they're going to end up together now, and it's annoying the crap out of me, but it's fine.
Are they? Hold on. I wrote down that, someone was oh, it's Cassie and Jake, that's the pair.
Yeah.
That's the canon pair.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
And apparently Marco's been in the know for a minute, just because he's like, I know Jake. I know what he's up to.
I know
and he's not good at hiding things.
Bless him.
Bless him. But yeah, outside of a 7-Eleven, Marco tries to stop a mugging and gets shot at with a gun, with a real-life gun.
A real-ass gun. By the guy that he's trying to save, too.
I know, right? Man.
I will have to note that he does know that he is a short king, and he does claim to be cute.
Yep.
So I feel seen. Just a little bit.
He's cute, he's funny, and he's modest. That's what he said, right?
Oh, he's so humble.
So humble. I love him. And of course, as suspected, a book in Marco's perspective just made me love him more.
Yeah.
After that, he tells his friends about it, and they're like, what, are you crazy? And he's like, excuse you, Rachel and Tobias also have done ridiculously crazy things. And everyone was like, and you told them they were crazy when they did that. And then the scene moves on from there, which I thought was pretty fun. You know?
For kids.
Yep, constantly. This book was literally full of, like, these parallels and contradictions. And I'm like, this is literature, honestly. This is high art. How are these not more well-renowned?
The body horror, that's why.
Yeah, that's why, the body horror. You got it. So anyway, we're following Marco and a lot of Axe, because Axe is, like, the character now.
Can I just say, Axe is autistic coded in a trans mask. Especially when they talk about foods and taste and sensories. And the like, the word repetition thing, where he's just, like, having echologia or whatever.
So...
The stims that Lee just did, too. You got so...
If you heard weird noises, that was me flapping my hands super hard because I got excited.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one to interpret this.
It's good. This book made me cry officially. Animorphs has officially made me cry, but that was way later, so we'll get to that. Also, Marco is secretly super smart. This is something that pissed me off, because I was like, why did we not see more of this? And it's when he says, I catch it when there were two things that he said back to back. One was he knew Axe's full name.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fun. And then immediately after that, he has a line where he says the exact time it would take to get from Earth to the Andalite homeworld in light years. He does the math rapidly in his head. And I'm like, how in the... Sir! Like, I love shit like this. Thank you. I love it. I love it when characters are secretly really smart, especially the ones that are supposed to be the heart or the comic relief.
It makes sense, because his dad's an engineer.
Yeah! Yes! But yeah, so the goal is that they come up with is to steal a smaller ship from the Yerks to get Axe back to his homeworld, because that's where he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they try it, and oh boy do they try it. The first thing is they go to a mall, and they fuck up that mission, because Axe is very, very neurodivergent. And I appreciate it.
He has a meltdown and has to go back to, like, his OG form.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And he gets so excited about taste and smell and things that he can't do as an Andalite, and it's really, really sweet. So they have to escape the cops, essentially, and some of the cops are Yerks, and I love the coding there. They turn into lobsters in a supermarket to escape the cops, and then they end up almost boiled alive, and this is Marco, Jake, and Axe. So Marco's like, dude, I gotta be done with these missions. It's too dangerous. But before he's officially says that, they're missing one component, and so they have to sneak back into their vice principal's house to get it, and he's a Yerk human person. A controller, that's what they're called. I didn't take any notes on the key terms, and I was like, I'll remember them. I don't. So they turn into ants to do that, and they literally almost die as ants because, do you remember the line, because Marco says, I picked up a book a couple weeks later on ants, and the author said if ants had nuclear weapons, they would destroy the world in a week. The author gives the ants too much credit. It would take them much shorter of a time, because they end up running into enemy ants and almost are bitten in half. And I'm like, holy crap, terrifying.
Straight up. That and, like, Marco morphs out and he's like, I can't step on my friends, on my friends.
Oh my gosh. And then when he gets home after the whole ordeal to take a shower, he finds the ant head that bit him when he was in ant form still attached to him. And he pulls it off, and I'm just like, disgusting! I also put that just Marco's wrestling with a lot in my notes. Don't know what that was in reference to. I think just... because Marco's mom is dead, and that's like something that's a really big thing in his character's story so far. Anyway, ants suck. That's also in my notes. And Marco avoids his feelings.
Through humor as a coping mech.
Yep.
Like, there's a quote that's like, Rachel thinks I'm cool and in control.
Yeah! Because he said, Rachel's always in control. That was another thing, is the next morning after the ant incident, Rachel ends up getting into a fight with somebody. Another girl at their school.
Yeah, her name's Jessica, what a bitch.
What a bitch. And Marco ends up splitting up the fight, and when they're in the principal's office trying to figure out it, like, Rachel looks so angry, like she's gonna say something, and Marco's just like, and the vice principal's like, how'd this happen? And Marco's like, oh, they were fighting over me. They're both madly in love with me, and they were fighting over me because of that. And just the balls to say that is so good. I love it. That was awesome.
Oh, and in this book, he is canonical Hispanic.
Yes!
They dropped it. We were right. We read the coding.
Yes! God, that made me so happy. I mean, it made me sad because it's still the Latin lover stereotype that's also the comic relief in short. But I was also so stoked because I was like, representation! And he also straight up says Cassie's black, and I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
I love the just bluntness of it. It bothers me when they're like, try to talk around it, and I'm like, then you get racists who are like, well, technically they never actually canonically say. It bothers the shit out of me.
You mean like M. Piercing Jackson?
Yes.
See, I don't read the books and I don't really know, but like...
He's canonically Latino, though. And I love who they casted for Grover for that, but that's a whole nother series aside. Oh, yeah. Marco's constantly backing out, but he's also too nice, so he can't commit to backing out. I just want to show you my notes for chapter 16 to 20. Just that line right there.
The fuck? All caps, 2 question marks. Underlined.
Yes. Much bigger than the rest. So that's when we find out Marco's mom's alive.
See, they were hinting at it, kind of.
But that's the thing, is the fuck was not about her being alive. I was like, she's probably alive and probably a controller. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, but the fact that she's actually the big bad, Visser 1...
That's what got me. That's what really got me. I was trying not to scream at that point. And this book officially made me cry. Oh, the reason why is because when Marco realizes his mom's Visser 1, he starts questioning everything he knew about his mom. How long had she been a controller? How long had she been planning this invasion? Was it after her death or before it? And he goes on this list of, like, all the things that she did. Like, was the woman coming to say goodnight to me my mom, or was it this controller? Was the person who dragged me through JCPenney's to do back-to-school shopping my mom or the controller? Was the woman who made out with my dad like they were teenagers when they thought I wasn't looking? And I was dead. I was like, I'm crying already, thank you. That line got me.
That's what got you.
That's what got me. I was very emotional. But anyway, the reason that they find out is because they end up being taken aboard the ship, the main mothership, which the irony's not lost on Marco on that one. Because they failed their mission, they try to get the little ship to come back down to steal it for Axe, and of course it doesn't work out, because nothing ever works out for these children. And while they're there, they end up getting captured, taken away, and apparently Visser 3 and Visser 1 fucking hate each other, like, with a passion.
Yeah, the infighting is so good, like, they're both petty queens.
Yeah, I was like, the politics is amazing, actually, because the reason they end up escaping is because part of Visser 1's personal army sabotages Visser 3's holding cell and, whatchamacallit? What are they called? Guards. And help them escape, essentially. And I was just like, yeah, the politics are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then, like, when they get back to Earth and stuff, Marco's like, I think I actually like Axe. I think he's a good guy. And I was like, man, I understand the shipping wars now. I get it. This is a fucking nightmare. I hate it.
You're in the fucking trenches.
Yeah. And the last chapter is Marco visiting his mom's grave. And the other thing is, none of the other kids know that Marco's mom is Visser 1 except for Jake, because Jake's the only one who met her. And Jake talks Marco down from, like, acting, which is exactly what he wanted to do, but he also knew it wouldn't help. So only Marco and Jake know that his mom is alive. And Marco still has to visit his mom's grave the next day because it's the 2-year anniversary of her death with his dad, who, by the way...
Yeah! Oh, I love... This is what got me.
Yeah?
His dad is healing.
His dad is healing. He wants to go back to work to be an engineer, and he says straight up, like, I haven't been the best dad to you in these past couple years, and I want to make it up, and I want to go back to work. And I'm like... And he's, like, ready to move on, just as Marco's like... I can't, I have to hold on now. And I'm like, these parallels and contradictions. Fucking poetry.
I love how he's like, do you even know how to work a computer still, Dad?
Yeah, right? It's like, I beat you in Doom all the time. It's like, I let you win. That's peak relationship. So, I don't have any questions written down.
I didn't write any questions either.
That's fine, this could just be a recap. But I do have some of my favorite quotes.
Hey, give me them.
It's 2 from the very beginning. It's Marco's talking about Cassie and her ability to handle wolves. You'll go, and this is like the precursor. You go out to the bar and you see this little short black girl in overalls and boots with her arm halfway down the throat of a wolf that could just bite it right off. And she'll be smiling and acting like it's no big deal. This is my favorite quote. And the wolf will just be standing there, looking like he's trying to earn a gold star for being the best little boy in school. I love that. And then this is my favorite version of contradictions. Since Tobias is stuck as a hawk, Marco says, I tease Tobias sometimes. What happened to him scares me.
I have that quote too! That's why he's so mean. It's because he's so afraid.
The level of complexity for this character makes me actually want to scream. They did such a good job for this book.
The only other, like, I guess, quote or section that I wrote down that that's not included in mentioning in the front part of this, discussion was, he called Axe, like, his human form either, like, a really pretty guy or an ugly girl. Which is why, transmask.
Yeah, transmask. Absolutely. And I love it because Marco's staring at Axe and it's just like, it's weird because like he looks like all of us. And I look at him and I'm like, that's my hair. That's like Cassie's features. That's like Rachel's features. And I'm like, that's pretty fun actually. That's pretty terrifying, but that's so weird. I feel like that just fueled the shipping wars, honestly.
Yeah.
Like super hard. I'm obsessed. I can't get past like this sweet little Andalite boy, who by the way is obviously not able to get home. He ends up back on Earth after being in an escape pod. So I don't know where they're gonna go next.
Yeah, and in this book, he is actually, like, look at this child. Are they using children soldiers now?
Yeah. That was awesome. The other thing I wanted to say about that I thought was cool was that Jake refers to Axe with they, them pronouns in multiple instances. And I was like, yes!
We're both stimming our hands now.
Yeah.
You can hear in the air and then the vibe.
Yeah. I'm so stoked by this book. It was the best one so far for me. And it was funny because we were both like, oh no, it's the book that has a monkey on the cover.
But it was only there for one chapter.
Yeah.
That was the hook and sinker.
Well, I mean, he turns into a gorilla later to fight.
Yeah.
All of them are like the elephant, wolf.
Tiger, wolf.
Yeah. Get the shipping wars. That's the thing. The whole time I was reading this book is I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to read the next one.
Who do you think? Are they going to go back to circulation or is it going to be about Axe?
I really, really hope it's about Axe.
Me too.
Really hope it's about Axe. I mean, we can find out right now, but that's not the point of this, you know?
What if they just pull a wrench on us and it's adult?
What if it's Chapman next time? Or Tom. It could be Jake's older brother.
Or the dad.
Or the dad. Oh, or Marco's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that'd be interesting.
We just visited my wife's grave, but, like, it's alright. We're starting to heal.
Yeah.
I started up a hobby or two.
I know, right?
Playing Doom with my boy.
Yeah.
I did write some of the morphs.
Yeah.
As for warnings, page 20, there's a really gross morph of Marco turning into a lobster. Page 32, there's a body morph to an ant, and in the start of chapter 9, a body fucking explodes. It's nasty. It's a bad trauma dream. And he calls out after this nightmare for his mom.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, were you having a nightmare about your mom?
He's like, no, I dream about her sometimes, but they're never nightmares. And I was like, tears.
And then his dad's like, yeah, I guess they wouldn't be, huh?
Yeah. Like, this book just makes me want to scream. It's so good. Like, if there's ever a time to, like, get into reading Animorphs, like, I was thinking recently about how I want to get back into fandom, but I don't have any fandoms that I'm, like, really dedicated to. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I would absolutely be dedicated to this Animorphs fandom. I'd be doing fan art constantly. I think I might, just because I'm, like, obsessed with this shit.
Please, I want to see this fan art.
I know. They're kids. They're so cute. I love middle grade books so much. They're so adorable. Oh, what did you think about the Hork Bajur that just, like, Marco says he sounds like he went to Harvard?
Was that the one that helped them escape?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I stan one.
Yeah.
I stan this one.
Exactly one Hork Bajur.
One Hork-Bajur.
I love it.
He's in my corner.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he's doing it just to be a part of the pettiness of
the politics.
Of the politics, but, like, I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
Here, you can't see, listener, but here's the sketch I'm presenting to Sony of our next thumbnail.
I freaking love it. It's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love the teapot.
There's teapot?
In the corner. Is that gonna... Oh, is it not a teapot? This?
Oh, that's a base.
Oh, it's a V. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was part of it.
Oh, I guess
a
I gotta
pillow.
add a teapot
No.
now. Make my work
Oh, it's flowers. Oh,
so much
I'm
heavy.
so sorry. I thought it was steam.
Constantly,
I thought it was cool.
constantly adding objects into an area. You know, typical artists. You show them one thing and they want 1,000 more.
I am so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the rough. I can draw shit on top.
It took them like 3 seconds, by the way.
I'm so talented.
So talented.
I went to an art school. I don't know if you knew this.
You went to an art school?
Yeah.
Which one? Did you recommend other people go to that art school?
Fuck no.
Art school.
Apparently they kept the sign up, but they gutted it out to just be in office spaces.
I love that they kept the sign up.
Yeah.
I saw the one in Pittsburgh when I was visiting my sister, and she was just like, it's completely empty right now. Like, I don't even think they have floors for the floors. It's like 5 stories.
Oh, so she just empty.
I was like, the fuck? And they were like, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Like, hopefully demolish it.
Honestly, yeah, just tear it down and start over. I want this to be erased from my past.
Yeah. I still have it on my resume because I worked there.
Oh.
Tragic.
Yeah, I still have it just to be like, yeah, I attended a school, a higher education.
Yeah. It looks good on your resume, even though they don't actually read your resume anymore.
Honestly, yeah.
But any other questions?
I have a list of books that I read while you were gone. If you want to bring out a list of books that you read while you were in, what was it, Italy?
Italy and Spain.
Italy and Spain. You could go ahead and do that. But it's a page notes that the title is Books I've Read Since Lee Went to Rome. Starting off with Pride and Prejudice, Gulp by Mary Roach, The Man Who Loved Only Numbers, which is a biography of Paul Erdős. He's great. He's fucking insane. He's a mathematician that called it children epsilons because they're the smallest unit.
Aww.
It's really good. Encyclopedia Exotica, which I lent you.
I loved that book.
Did you know? A mathematician reads the newspaper. I didn't finish this one because it just felt bad. I couldn't get into it. Bone, Volume 8. I finished reading Welcome to Nightville. I started it in high school and then I left to Seattle and only recently got the book back.
I love all the books.
Yeah, well, I guess I gotta start reading those later. Split Level Dykes to Watch Out For.
Nice.
I think it's like Volume 6 of the series. Packing for Mars by Mary Roach. Volume 3 of Ouran High School Host Club. Bone Volume 9, which is the last one. I finished the series. It's so good. I'm not reading any other Bone books. I know there's a prequel. I know they're making another series, but I'm done. I read the 9.
Yeah.
That's it. It's good. It's edgy. There's a war. They're graphic about it. And it's a children's series.
I honestly love graphic children's series. I think they're great.
Moomin Summer Madness. Gather Together in My Name, which I have mixed feelings about, just because they fall into the predatory lesbian trope, but like...
hate it when that happens.
Hot Milk comic. It's just a comic called Hot Milk. Okay. It's a diary sort of comic thing.
I thought you said Hot Milk for a second, and I was like...
I wish.
Yeah, right?
Zero, A Dangerous Idea, which is really good, because it gave such a shout out and pride to me. Since it was like, yeah, Mesoamericans had the number 0 before the Greeks.
Yes!
And not only that, but like, we had a calendar based on the sun rather than the moon. So we got up to 360 days rather than like...
365.
No, 360. We included at the end of 360 days a 5-day festival.
Oh!
Yeah! Because like, everyone else was going off the moon, so their years were short.
Yeah.
And didn't like align with the seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to us. Shout out to Indigenous.
Yeah. Americans, yep.
And then I finished reading Higloiland, which is about like the discovery of quantum mechanics, and he kept being like, yeah, like this guy goes into this island at age 23 and figures it out. He's 23 in quantum mechanics. And I was like, I get it, I'm 23.
I need to discover something that important.
I'm not gonna do shit. I'm just gonna read Animorphs and eat bread.
Yeah, that is a plan.
Like, it was a good book, except for, like, when he's like, and then the War II happened, and guess which side that guy went on to.
Gross.
And I was like, no thank you. So now I'm reading The Razor's Edge, which starts with the foreword about the author being kind of like a bi disaster, and it got to the part where the book begins and there's a bi disaster, and so I feel very seen and represented.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start off with the books that I read, but I don't recommend. I had to read them from school, and they were not fun. The first is Where Angels Fear to Tread. Incredibly racist, 0 out of 5 stars. The next one is Daisy Miller, A Study in Two Parts. It's the 1920s. She's a teenager, and he's in his 20s. Disgusting. A Room with a View, marginally more tolerable, but also, they had some good visuals. I was recommended to read The Marble Fawn because of how terrible it was. It's by Nathaniel Hawthorne. The first part apparently is incredible, and the second half is apparently the worst book that anyone has had the displeasure of reading. It's also I was also recommended to read it for how terrible it is by someone who also hated But I'm a Cheerleader, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. They're good friends. Their opinion isn't always right. And then the books that I absolutely would recommend reading, or not so much reading, but listening to, is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I listened to a version on the app Audiobooks and Novels, and they have a version where each part, because it's written in like letters and telegraphs and stuff, each part is read by a different person. So like all the entries by like Jonathan Harker are read by the same actor, and then all the entries read by, I can't remember any of the other characters' names. Mina Harker is read by a different she reads all of Mina Harker's parts, and they're consistent. They were able to keep all the actors the same throughout the whole story, which I thought was incredible. I am genuinely in love with the one character that I can't remember his name.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
You were like, a competent man. How delicious.
He was so sexy. I was like, I haven't heard any, like, he doesn't have that many entries, and they're not until the third act. But in the second act, I just kept hearing Van Helsing and what he was doing and everything from other characters. And I was like, I think I'm genuinely in love with this character. Like, he is attractive to me. And then, I forgot I read some of these. I read Jack Stark's Intergalactic Freak Show by Jennifer Lee Rossman. Absolutely highly recommend reading it. I think it is a very fun book. I think it's very zany and adventure, and I love the main character. He's over the top to hell and back. Thank you, I don't want that though. They're trying to hand me some dog floof.
You deny my gift. How could you?
That book was it was fun. The main character like was over the top in love with another character, and he's just like, my goddess, my love, the reason I wake up to breathe every morning. He hasn't talked to this woman in like 5 years, and I'm like, yeah, same.
Me.
And then I also read 1984 by George Orwell because I wanted to be a bit pretentious and read a classic. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I also don't not recommend. I'm working a job right now, and the parallels I drew between that job and 1984 were a little,
on the nose.
On the nose.
Oh, I lent you also another comic called, Something New?
Something New, Tales from a Makeshift Bride by Lucy Nisley?
Kinsley. I don't know.
If it's Kinsley, it's spelled wrong here.
Listen, I ain't good at pronunciation.
That's fine. I love that. I'm getting married next year at some point, hopefully, and that book made me cry also. Oh, you're getting married next year? Hopefully. I thought this year. Fuck, that changes my rat tail growing plans. Is it gonna be longer? No, it means I might just, like, have it for a month. If 3 weeks, and then chop it off. Okay, awesome. So you've deterred, you missed the area of me having a rat tail at your wedding. Awesome. Man, y'all have no idea how I feel right now. It would have been in the pictures, my friends. That would have been awesome. Well, maybe I don't know if you're being genuine of me not having a rat tail in your images. I will show our kids and be like, look, this is This is your Theo. He had a rat tail in our wedding photos.
It's mine. I'll probably just have my classic mohawk, like I do now.
I really want my mohawk back, but I have a very specific style of hair that I want to have for the wedding.
Yeah.
Which means not cutting my hair.
That's rough. I can grow and cut this all I want. I might just shear it off tomorrow. I won't. I like it too much. It feels so nice and big.
I want to shave my head so bad, but I'm like, there's something very specific that I want to have with my hair, and I don't want to get a wig for it, so...
Valid.
You know, it sucks. I hate having to be responsible and think about my decisions.
And their repercussions and consequences.
Yeah, it's terrible.
How long is this episode so far?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, with all these consequences and stuff, that's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty disgusting.